The most popular rigs out there got popular because they're pretty good, but even the best rigs got their flaws. So today, let's talk about all the problems with the suspensions of the most popular vehicles out there, and let's start with Toyota. Now, first generation Tacomas, Tundras, and third generation 4Runners, as well as the associated Sequoias, all are going to have lower ball joint failures at some point. The design puts the lower ball joint always under tension, and with the age of these vehicles, well, they're just going to blow up eventually. So if you still have original ball joints, you absolutely need to change those. And, well, if you're doing some serious wheeling, it might be worth considering upgrading. Now, in the first three generations of Tacomas and the first generation of Tundras, the leaf springs are hot garbage. There's been a lot of recalls, there's been a lot of replacements, but even if you get that recall, still not all that awesome. So at least adding a progressive added leaf is going to be a must, but we think you should change that full leaf pack, and we have tons of great options. Lastly, not directly a suspension problem, but definitely related on the earlier stuff. So we're talking about the first gen Tacomas and Tundras and third gen 4Runners again here. The axles actually have a little bit more articulation than the boots do on the CV joints. So when you're running extended travel coilovers set at their max lift heights, we're talking 3.5 inches of lift, you can wear out those boots super quick. What ends up happening is people see that grease starts getting slung, and they immediately go to the parts store and get some parts store axle shafts. The problem being those don't have as much CV articulation, and then they have CV bind issues. They blow up axle shafts. After running through a couple sets of those, they get a diff drop, and all of that could have been avoided by getting some of the extended or long travel CV boots a lot of brands sell. Now, believe it or not, there's not a lot of issues we see with the suspensions on modern Jeeps. They're actually pretty good, and, well, a lot of people buy them for that solid axle suspension in the first place, but nothing's perfect. The golden era stuff, we're talking TJs, XJs, MJs, all of that kind of stuff, run really short control arms, so there's not a lot of flexibility for going up in lift or extending travel a whole lot, and that also is affecting the driveline as well. So you absolutely need to be spending the money on the correct geometry correction components, and you might be considering some long arms at lower lift heights than you might be required on other applications, just because everything's short, the angles change a lot. Also, on the stuff with bar pins, so that's up to JK, they can be prone to snapping those bar pins on really long travel, really high articulation setups when you're rock crawling it super hard. But there's bolt-on bar pin eliminators that a lot of people do, and that fixes that issue. Another shock mount related issues on JKs all the way up to JTs really is the shock mount position in the rear isn't great and ends up catching on rocks and other obstacles a lot. So it's very common for people to either run a skid plate on them or relocate them all together. But there are more popular applications out there, and we got some more trash to talk. So stay tuned till tomorrow, where we talk about Ford and GM.